Okay, today's notes are going to be going over composite surface area. So just like what we did yesterday whenever we did composite volume, where we added two volumes together, we're going to do the same thing today by combining the surface area of two shapes. And then we might have to subtract something or add something to it. But let's go ahead and again, we're going to get into page 2. But before that, looking at your formula chart, again, the formulas for surface area are going to be located right here. Going over these two formulas very quickly. Um, for a prism, total surface area is pH plus 2b. I'm going to go over the formula, what each of the letters mean in the total surface area, just because if you notice, the lateral has the same letters. P stands for perimeter of your base, and on a rectangular prism, your base is always the bottom. For a triangular prism, your base are always the triangles. And then the h is going to be the height of our prism, so that's the distance between our two bases. And then we want to add 2 times the area of our base. So depending on what your base shape is, that's what's going to determine how you're going to find the area of your base, or what formula you're going to use for that. And again, the formulas for area are right here. And then when you get into the formula for surface area of a cylinder, the only two things you need are your radius and your height. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump into page 2. So this says example 1, Jenna wants to paint the outside of her greenhouse. She will not paint the door that measures 10 feet by 7 feet. What is the area she will paint? So this is saying that she's going to paint everything except for this door, and they tell us the measurements of those doors. So once we have found the surface area of everything here, we would subtract the area of this door because that's not going to be painted. So here I noticed the rooftop seems like it's half of a cylinder. So I would find the here I would be painting the top and the bottom. So I would be finding the total surface area of the cylinder, and since it's half of a cylinder, I would be dividing it by 2. And then for the bottom part, the actual building or the greenhouse, it's a rectangular prism, but I'm not going to be painting the bottom. I'm not going to be painting the floor, and I don't have to paint the ceiling. So I'm just painting the sides. So I would be finding lateral surface area. Once I have found both of the surface areas there, I would add them together and then subtract the area of the door. So let's go ahead and start off by finding the total surface area of a cylinder. Now, looking at your formula chart, it tells me that the formula for total surface area of a cylinder is 2 times pi times radius height plus 2 pi r squared. So I'm going to go ahead and copy down that. So S equals 2 times pi times radius times height plus 2 times pi times radius squared. So I need my radius and I need my height. So this is where I would find my radius. Here they tell me that this is 12 inches wide. So this would be my diameter. Down here is 12, up here is also 12. So my diameter is 12, so my radius would be 6 since it's half of 12. And then the height would be the distance between my bases. So this would be my base here. And back here would be my second base. So the distance between it, or the height of my cylinder, is 25. So I'm just going to plug those numbers into my formula. So this is now 2 times pi times my radius is 6 times my height, which is 25, plus 2 times pi times my radius, again, is 6 squared. Now I'm just going to go ahead and open up my calculator. So again, opening up my calculator, putting this in, I'm going to put 2 times pi times 6 times 25. And then I'm going to add 2 times pi times 6 squared. Entering that, it tells me that the total surface area of the cylinder is 1,168.67. But remember that this is half of a cylinder. So now that I have found the total surface area of the cylinder, I am now going to divide this number by 2. And it tells me that the total surface area of that half a cylinder is 584.3. So the total surface area or the cylinder equals 584.3 feet squared. So now I have to find the area of the rectangular prism. Now, again, I don't need to find the area of the bottom or the top, and I'm just finding the area of the sides. So that's going to be lateral surface area. To find that, I'm going to go ahead and erase all this. I'm going to leave this there. So this is for the cylinder. So again, now we are finding lateral surface area of a prism. Now going to my formula chart, I need to find the formula for lateral surface area of a prism. So going over here, it tells me that the formula for lateral surface area of a prism is S equals pH. So this is the perimeter of my base times the height of my prism. So going back to page 2, I need to determine my base. Now, on a rectangular prism, the bottom is your base. So this is what my base would look like. So I need to find the perimeter going around this rectangle. So to do that, I want to add all sides going around it. So this is 12 plus 25. And then if this side is 12, this side is also 12. And then if this side is 25, this side is also 25. So adding that up in my calculator, 12 plus 25 plus 12 plus 25 equals 74. So the perimeter of my base is 74. Again, this was S equals pH. So the perimeter was 74 times the height of my prism. So that's the distance between my bases. So I have my base on the bottom, and then I would have a base on the top. And it tells me that the height is 8. So 74 times 8, my lateral surface area is 592. So I have the total surface area for this half cylinder as 584.3. And then I have the lateral surface area of the prism, which is 592. Now, all that's left for me to find is the area of this door. Now, in my problem, it told me that the door was 10 feet by 7 feet. So I need to find the area of this door here, which is 10 by 7. So to find the area of a rectangle, it's length times width. So 7 times 10 equals 70. So now what I'm going to do to find just the area that needs to be painted, I know the cylinder and the prism need to be painted. So I'm going to add these two together. So I'm going to take 584.3 and I'm going to add 592. And we'll see what we get. So opening up my calculator, 584.3 plus 592 equals 1,176.3. Now, again, my last step would be to subtract the area of the door because I don't want that to be painted. And we found that the area was 70. So now I'm going to subtract 70 from that total. So going to my calculator, I'm going to subtract 70, and I get 1,106.3. So my final answer, again, is 1,106.3, and this is feet squared. And to get the squared symbol, we're going to hold the Alt key, and we're going to press 0, 1, 7, 8, release, and we'll get to the power of 2. So that was example 1. Let's move on to example 2. Okay, example 2 says Chris wants to paint the outside of his silo. He will not paint the door that measures 6 feet by 3 feet or the windows that measure 2 feet by 2 feet. What is the area he will paint? So I'm going to find the lateral surface area of a cylinder. Then once I have completed that, I'm going to go ahead and find the area of just the top base. I don't need to paint the bottom base, so I'm going to find the lateral surface area of the cylinder. I'm going to add the area of the top, or the ceiling, or the roof. And then I don't want to paint the windows or the doors, so I also have to find the area of these three things. And once I find that, I'm going to subtract them from the total area. So let's go ahead and start off by finding the lateral surface area of a cylinder. So going to my formula chart, I'm going to go ahead and find the formula for lateral surface area of a cylinder. And it tells me it's 2 times pi times radius height, times the height. So going over here, I'm going to type or write S equals 2 times pi times radius times height. So the only two things I need are my radius and my height. Well, I know my height is 10, and they give me a diameter of 15, so half of 15 is 7.5. So my radius is 7.5. So I'm going to plug these numbers into my formula. So this is now 2 times pi times my radius, which is 7.5, times my height, which is 10. So opening up my calculator, 2 times pi times 7.5 times 10, you get 471.2. And this is going to be feet squared. So this is the lateral surface area of the cylinder. Now I'm going to go ahead and find the area of my base. So the area of a circle is pi times r squared. So B equals pi times r squared. Also, you could have used the formula for total surface area of a prism, and you could have just taken out the 2 since there's only one base that we're finding. So this is pi times my radius was 7.5 squared. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. Pi times 7.5 squared, and we get 176.7. So this is plus 176.7. So 471.2 plus 176.7, we get the surface area as 647.9. So I'm going to write that here, 647.9. But that is not my final answer. Remember, I'm not going to paint the windows or the doors, so I have to find the area of those three things. Once I have done that, I'm going to subtract that from this surface area that I found. So I'm going to go ahead and erase this so I can use this space to work down here. So the first thing I'm going to find the area of is the door. So the door, it tells me that the door measures 6 feet by 3 feet. So 6 by 3. So again, this is in the shape of a rectangle, and to find the area of a rectangle, it's going to be length times width. So 6 times 3 equals 18. And then I have the window, and I have 2 windows. So whatever the area I get, I'm going to multiply that by 2. So the window, again, would be length times width, and this would be 2 times 2, which equals 4. Now I have 2 windows, so the windows times 2 would be 8 and 18. So I'm going to add these two together. So the windows plus the door, 18 plus 8 equals 26. So I'm going to take 647.9 and I'm going to subtract 26. So in my calculator, 647.9 minus 26, I get 621.9. So now in my box, this is going to be 621.9 feet Alt 0178 gets the squared, and this is the amount of area, this is what's going to be covered with paint. Okay, so again, I found the lateral surface area of the cylinder. I found the area of the top of the silo. Once I found that, those were the only things that needed to be painted. So then I subtracted the area of the door and the area of the two windows. Go ahead and complete your assignment. Once you are done with that, then you're good to go. Today is the last day of the quarter. Enjoy your 3-day weekend. And if you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out to us.